Hey, what's up, guys? Wanted to show y'all another handheld radio that I picked up. I don't know, I guess I had this thing for a couple weeks now. This is the Ailunce HA1G. As you can see right there, this is a GMRS specific radio. So I'll just go ahead and I've already been messing with this thing. I just repacked it to give you guys an idea of what you get when you purchase one of these, or if you purchase one of these. So I got a programming cable here so that you can utilize the computer programming software to tweak the settings in it. I didn't do any of that, and we'll get to some of that here in just a minute. So then you got a manual here, which is not a bad manual. It's actually pretty decent. So that's pretty good. We'll just set that over here so it don't cause any issues for us. And then you get a dock charger, which takes USB-C interface at the back. Then you get a USB-C charging cable, goes there. And then you get a wall adapter for AC power. And whatever. And then of course you get the radio and the battery. And then you get a lanyard, a wrist strap, whatever you want to call it, and a belt clip, which I have not used so far. So here we go. This is the inside of the radio at the back. You got your little gasket here to try to prevent water from entering the radio. And you got FCC ID and all that stuff, if that is important to you. So here's your battery. And this is a 2800 milliamp hour battery. And it also interfaces with USB-C for charging on the go, which I do like. And you can still obviously place this thing in the dock if you're in a static location where you have AC power outlets. So either way, I do like the ability to charge it in a couple different ways, especially one of them being USB-C, because that seems to be more common nowadays, even on radios. So excuse me. One of the reasons that I decided to purchase one of these is I started doing some research and I realized that you were able to go in and name your frequencies or channels directly from the keypad. So being able to program your radio as an end user without having to rely on a computer, that's important to me. I think it makes sense. And that's one of the features that I typically look for. So that may vary from person to person, but that's just one of the ways that, or one of the features that I prefer to see in a radio. So here we go, we'll power it up. All right, so if you guys can see, the screen is pretty nice. And these radios, just for reference, I think I paid about $40 for this one. So if I go in here, if you can see right there, I got one of my repeaters on channel 28 is already labeled as Caesar's head. That's the abbreviation that I made that I understand. So Caesar's head repeater, which is one of the closer ones, or one of the ones in my general area that I can access. So therefore, that's one of the features that I was telling you about earlier. I like the ability to be able to actually go in here and use the actual keyboard to go ahead and assign actual names to different repeaters. So I thought that that was very interesting. Up here, you got a little dial, which can turn. And that's another way that you can scroll through your channels. And then also, of course, you got your volume button here. Up top, you'll notice the orange button. And then you'll see two additional buttons over here on the side below the push to talk. And you can even go in the menu and you can actually decide or determine which functions those radios perform, or those buttons, excuse me, perform directly from the keypad. So that's really cool. That's something that I have not been exposed to prior to this. So I did like that as well. So then right here, if I go to frequency or display mode, I can choose frequency, name, or channel. Right now, you see I have it set on name, which is pretty good. You can adjust your backlight. You can adjust your brightness. See it, I can turn the brightness up. I can turn the brightness down using the knob. And then right here, I got a timer I can select. And if I push my up or down arrows, that'll change my time that I have selected. 0 seconds, 5 seconds, 10, 15, so on and so forth. So then key function right here, menu item number 4, select by pressing the menu button. So here we go down to number 3, that's side key function. So you got top key, short press or long press. So if you click it or if you actually hold the button, you get two different functions that you can program in. And the same with the side key 1 and side key 2. So all of this can be changed on the fly directly from the keypad on the radio, which I really like. I think that's a big deal, being able to actually perform all these different functions inside of the radio without having to rely on being able to connect it to a computer and access the software and so on. You can do this stuff all on your own right here. You can be riding down the road, whatever. It doesn't matter. So I do like that. It does have weather radio, and it also has FM radio. So
these guys, if you go with them, they're going to take care.
So there you go. There's your FM radio, which again I do like. I went ahead and programmed my top button
to help other businesses grow their business,
work or turn on and off the FM radio. So if I want to access that, I can come right in here and I can go down to FM radio, select, and I'm on frequency 98.9. If I want to change that frequency, I can just turn the top knob. So if you're messing around in here and you can't figure out what to do with the buttons, or the buttons don't seem to be doing what you want while you're in the menu, your top buttons or your top dial is probably the way to go. And then that will allow you to change whatever functions depending on what kind of portion of the menu that you're actually in. So pretty intuitive radio. It took me a little minute to get used to it because, like I said, I would try to use the arrow keys and nothing would happen. So then I would scroll with the top knob, and then that would allow me to change certain features while I was inside of the menu. So other than that, not too bad. Once I got used to that, everything was fine. So here's weather setting, and then we can go down to the NOAA radio. I can scroll through right there. And there's 12 different NOAA weather radio stations programmed into the radio. And when you get it, this thing out of the box is pretty much ready to go. If you want to go in and add your repeaters, you can add your CTCSS tones. And I don't even think that I had to mess with the offsets, because I think the +5 megahertz offset is already programmed into the radio software under all of your repeater frequencies or channels. And then once you go in and tailor your CTCSS codes, then you should be good to go. And of course, depending on where you are, you may need to have access granted or permission granted by the repeater owner, but that's going to be dependent on different areas and stuff like that. That's really going to be up to you to make that determination and figure out what you need to do to access the repeaters in your area. But pretty cool handheld GMRS radio. I like it. It's IP67 rated, so I like that as well. Again, I typically probably wouldn't recommend just going out and submerging the thing time and time again, but you can have it out in inclement weather is my idea, and you don't have to necessarily worry about it just dying just because it's exposed to some water, some rain, or whatever the case may be. So to me, I think that that's a good feature. You're seeing it more and more on radios that are more so entry level or affordable, and nothing wrong with that. I like that. Some are better than others, of course, and some tend to have issues more so than others. But that's just the way it is, right? So, but I did want to just let you guys know that I picked this thing up and I've been messing around with it for a little bit. So if you were looking at a GMRS handheld, this one seems to be pretty cool, and I do like a lot of the features that they went ahead and provided with this thing right out the box. So maybe a couple of these would be a good option if you're getting into GMRS and maybe you're looking for some turnkey type of setup, maybe get a couple of these and you'll probably be pretty well in a good position to get started, you know. So, and here's some more of the technical specs and stuff from the radio. Here's your channel or GMRS frequency table right here. So you got receive frequency, transmit frequencies, you got your bandwidth, you got your power, and of course it's already set to low power restriction on the low power channels that as governed by the FCC, so you don't have to worry about that. But on the other channels, you can change between high and low. You can even actually do like what I done and program one of your buttons here to change you between high power and low power, like I did on this side key 1. If I hold it, it'll change between low and high power on the channels that will allow you to use high or low. So that's pretty cool too. Again, I like it. I think it's feature packed for what it is. And I just wanted to share it with you guys and let you know that this is another option for folks who are thinking about getting into GMRS, or maybe you already are licensed or whatever, and you're interested in a different radio besides like a Baofeng or something like that. These right here seem to be pretty cool. So again, I haven't torture tested it or anything weird like that. That's not really what it's about, but I do like it out of the box, and I think it offers a lot of cool and interesting features. And the IP rating is cool. I like that as well. The screen is nice, and that's what I got for you guys. Of course, it's got like a multi-pin type of interface here on the side, so it's not the traditional Kenwood style 2-pin. So I guess you guys can probably see that here on the programming cable. So depending on what accessory you're using or used to using, you may end up having to make some changes there. But for me, I don't have any accessories for this one right now. I'm just using it as it is. So there we go. All right. Well, hopefully that was informative, and I will see you guys on the next one. I'm out of here.